Hello and welcome back to another episode of LMScast. My name is Chris Badgett, and in this episode we're going to be talking about the organizational development and corporate training opportunity with a learning management system or online course website that's really for internal use. It's not for the public. It's not about selling courses or building a business. It's about improving your existing business, helping your team grow, capturing value. And there's three areas I want to focus on why corporate training and organizational development systems are important and the opportunity to leverage these within your business. So the first one that I want to talk about is if you're not doing it, if you're using two kind of outdated methods that need support, or just there's a gaping void or opportunity available to improve your new employee onboarding or new contractor onboarding system. So the first is just not having any kind of organizational development or tool for newcomers to use to get onboarded beyond just the typical shadow or mentor of an existing employee. Or what's even more common is you kind of throw people to the wolves and let them figure out their job through trial and error, through just experimenting and finding out when things don't work. And oftentimes it's kind of counterintuitive, but if you have a management layer in your business, sometimes the managers may feel it's not in their best interest to create these kinds of tools because it might make their job obsolete, which isn't entirely true. What it actually does is if a layer of management creates and maintains and continuously improves these tools, then that management function can focus on higher leverage opportunities because the training part of what they do or are responsible for is much more efficient. So if you're not using any kind of tool to help support your new organizational development, where you're either bringing people into a new position that have been freshly hired, or you're trying to improve your existing team or leverage training opportunities to bring everybody to a higher level of performance, that's the first gaping void. The second is to just be using outdated technology, like, for example, having an employee handbook that might be written in a way that's kind of dry, doesn't cite a lot of specific examples, talks a lot about high leverage philosophy, which is important, but it may not get into the nitty gritty of this is what this point exactly means when translated into the day-to-day of the business. So, or perhaps you're just using just some kind of other outdated method, like some kind of checklist that a new employee has to go through. Mentor checks off everything as that new person goes through there. It's a checklist. It's nice, but it's not necessarily as developed as it could be. So in addition to filling gaps that are there in the organizational development or corporate training space, the other big gap is just to bring the fun back in training. So if you're a new employee or new contractor and you're coming into a business, training should be fun. That's a perfect opportunity to get that new hire excited about your business and not feel like they're behind, or they got to get through this hard trials and tribulations of getting to understand their job. There's a big opportunity to make corporate training and organizational development fun. And so the fun factor, you can do things like you can gamify the systems as they learn things. They can compete with other people in a similar position or in completely different positions, but kind of learning similar things. You can put a little healthy competition in there, and you could gamify that. So for example, if you're doing an online course about let's say customer support and how you as a company, what your culture is, and this is how we respond to customers. And once people get through that course, they get a badge, or they get certified in company XYZ support philosophy or whatever. You're giving them little kind of milestones incrementally as they go through the training process to make it more fun. Or you could do things like, as they complete something, you could have an email go to them that is just congratulating them on their progress and letting them know how much you appreciate their investment in learning how to do their new job well and going through the program. So just bringing the fun and the excitement back into training, whether that's a new hire situation or a continuous improvement situation, uh, bringing the fun back with online courses and a well-designed learning management system is another great thing about incorporating, the modern training tools in organizational development and corporate training. The other big opportunity is what I like to call value capture. So, who should create this? Well, the insight is counterintuitive. It shouldn't necessarily be the CEO or the co-founders or the leadership of the company that creates all the training tools. While ultimately the brand and the business may stop with the founder, the buck stops there or whatever, the reality is if they're good at building their business, there's probably other players on the team who are going to be better suited to train specific components of various roles within the company. So basically what I mean by that is you want the A players in your team to assist in the creation of the training program. And that also scales, and that's why there's a big opportunity for value capture, because if you don't have a corporate training or organizational development tool or system in place, you may put the new hire with the A player and they're learning from each other, which is good, and I'm not saying don't do that, but that value is never captured. What happens when that A player has to do that exact same thing with somebody else and somebody else and somebody else? You're not leveraging the scale of creating training products and tools that are evergreen or last forever. And the other big thing to consider is what happens if that A player, which often happens or can happen with A players, is they'll leave and go to another opportunity, and you've just lost that. But if you were to capture their way of training, let's say sales methodology, and even if that person leaves, or even if the company gets really busy and you don't have the bandwidth to put your best people on training the new hires, you've still got that training resource. So there's a big opportunity for value capture. So how do you implement a corporate training or organizational development system and get it going quickly? Because it can seem complex, it can seem complicated, but the reality is there's resources out there to get you set up and running, so that all you need to do is just plug in your key players and some media and start moving forward with your corporate training system. So if you're interested in learning more about that and finding out more about the opportunities for greater value capture and positive culture change within your organization, I would encourage you to go check out lifterlms.com/my-corporate training. And that's lifterlms.com/my-corporate-training. And there's a video message over there that'll tell you more and let you know what you need to do next. And there's an opportunity to have a company like ours set up your system for you, so that if you're not an expert in online course delivery systems or learning management systems, but you are an expert in your business, we can kind of come together and get you up and running in 5 days with a platform for you to move forward and reap the benefits of a modern organizational development or corporate training system at your fingertips. It's easy to use. So thank you for coming to this episode of LMScast. And again, if this all sounds good to you and you want to find out more, go to lifterlms.com/my-corporate-training.